Hello everybody, Bloom here, and welcome back to the EchoSMP. So in this episode, we have a bit of a trial for Hannah. If you remember, I think it was the first episode when we talked to Dad, he mentioned Hannah was someone who lost in LA, which are children on the server, and we basically have the trial for her, and we decide a punishment. And that's pretty much all this episode is. The trial was a bit crazy, so it's edited down a lot. So it might be a little bit hard to follow, but it should be fine. Also, I reworked the skin a little just to fit the theme of the steampunk area more, So yeah, let's get into the video.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kai, and I am the judge. We are here today with the prosecutioner. Lynx is the prosecutioner lawyer. Hannah is the defendant, and Badooga is the defense lawyer. On the side, we have the jury. The defendant is brought on the charges of child neglect, child abandonment, and endangerment. Whenever the prosecution team is ready, please have your opening statement.
Well, we would like to start with the fact that we would like to prove Hannah guilty of child abuse through physical and mental, commonly shown in forms of neglect. We would actually like to use the plea of imprisonment of asylum. She is a danger to herself and the children of Aviania.
There is no question that my client has a criminal history, but that is not what we are here for today. Today, I am going to show you that the true story lies with the failure of Lynx, who for some reason is the prosecution, even though she probably has a conflict of interest here. It is the fault of you for abandoning your daycare, and it is not the responsibility of Hannah to manage other people's children.
Okay, so for the daycare, sir, this is completely not even part of the case. Even if I would like to, I was not able to inform. I have evidence of not being able to inform Hannah of the daycare. For first starters, we have this compass, and then second, we have this letter. Starting with, I was evicted from my house. Yes, that is true. And because of that, I did in fact abandon the daycare, which was entirely my fault. I do accept the fact that I did abandon a house. Now, during this time, I did in fact try to find Hannah, but as you can tell by that compass and letter, she abandoned Aviania and ran as a form of guilt through leaving her own children behind and losing someone else's child through leaving the daycare door open. So understandably, yes, the daycare could be an issue, but steps were taken to tell her, and she was nowhere to be found, abandoning her kids behind.
Perhaps it would be best to start with witness testimony from the defendant herself. Would you like to go up to the stand, Hannah?
I was trying to pick up my kids from the daycare when I was double checking to see if Liz's kids were still in there. I think while I was getting my kids out of the daycare, Newton seemed to have escaped, and I looked for hours. And I just couldn't find him, and then when I came across Liz, and she just questioned me and went on for a long time, and I know I didn't really say anything, and that wasn't the very best choice, but in the end, Liz did try and push me off the cliff.
So do you understand, Judge, why I might claim that there might be a conflict of interest in this case? The prosecution lawyer may be responsible for some of the crimes committed here today.
Your Honor, Badooga himself is the one that evicted me, so if we're talking about conflict of interest, we should also agree on Badooga.
Am I being convicted of losing the child? Because that's not what this trial's about.
Sir, neither am I.
Well, if you're responsible directly for not supervising the children, then surely that's direct causation.
Once again, as I said, Hannah was attempted to be contacted, but as you can tell by the evidence I was giving you, she was not able to be found.
Contacted?
But I don't understand the timeline here, because clearly you abandoned the daycare before she went to pick up her children.
Yes.
But she went to pick up her children before she ran away.
I was evicted, which means I take time to get my own home. I have a child myself, which was threatened, by the way. During this eviction, my child was threatened for her safety. Her name is
have
Evelyn,
evidence of
by the
this?
way. Do you have evidence that I abandoned a daycare without any reasoning? Now, may I continue talking, please? Along these lines, during my eviction process, it takes a day to move a house, move a child completely in a new area. I now reside in Subterranean. During this process, I get a note in my mailbox just after I finish setting up my home. Now, this is from Hannah, the person who I was not aware disappeared, and after this point, I was talking to Liz, of which is the person here. She lost her child, and during this, we had no idea what happened, and as I was talking to Hannah while I was there, which once again, she abandoned Aviania and her children, she admitted to this. May I bring this up, sir?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I am aware Cow is not here, but
Yep.
if you can look at those lines, it is a thing stated between Cow and Hannah. She is very, very obviously mentally unstable from guilt. I have it myself here. If I am allowed to question Hannah at this time, may I do that?
Go ahead.
Thank you. So in this book, Hannah, it says right here, I lost a kid. Help. That was you. Am I correct?
Yes.
Was it yours? Cow stated. Am I correct?
Yes.
No, you stated. Whose was it? That was Cow. Did I read that correctly?
Yes.
And you respond with Liz. I don't know what to do. And Cow responds with, oh, shit. Is that why you don't want Liz here? Speaking of which, you did not inform Liz of where you were because of the fact that you were guilty of losing her child. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Are you saying that Hannah's testimony is wrong?
No, sir. I am saying that she is mentally unstable, as shown on multiple pieces of evidence.
And I was asking her, hey Hannah, have you seen Newton anywhere? Because obviously there's a chance she saw my child anywhere. And then she just starts saying, I have to go, and running away. Now, I'm not saying that that makes her guilty in any sort of way. However, when someone starts saying, to yes or no question regarding your child, you're going to be a bit like, hey, you know something, right? So I chased her down and been like, hey, I just want to talk. What do you know? Like, tell me. Like, I won't be mad, right? Like, just tell me. And then we ended up back at the castle. I was like, hey, you have to tell me what you did to my child. Like, what happened? And she wouldn't say anything, right? She was on the edge of, like, and then she walked herself over to the edge of the cliff because she's running around, right? So she walked over to the edge of the cliff, and I may or may not have cornered her. And I told her, look, it really looks like you hurt my child in some sort of way. You know something happened to my child. So obviously, as a worrying, caring mother, I'm going to threaten the person who tried, who I have no clue what they did to my kid, and they know something. If they're not going to tell me, then I have to assume they endangered my kid, and I'm obviously going to be upset about that and threaten them.
And to clarify, did you have a weapon in hand at any point?
Yes, but they also had weapons and gear.
So, once again, as a minor, I hate to continue bringing it up, but it is a very important piece. She was put into a position of financial instability, not having a home, abuse on many, many occasions. And then when the government decided to take her child into their own hands due to this, she decided to bust in with a weapon, putting the child into more danger, and then putting herself as a mother into danger, possibly leaving this child completely abandoned. Correct?
Correct.
Is that all, or do you have any other?
That's mostly what I recall from the backstory there.
Thank you. That would actually be it for witnesses for me. Please keep in mind, we are pushing for asylum, which is taking rights from children.
I would personally argue for sentencing that perhaps some sort of rehabilitation program would make more sense. and to give, because again, she's a minor, she's had a history of poverty. It would make the
Yeah.
most sense to give her some sort of, you know, just teach her how to raise a child, because it's not her fault that she was poor.
So our closing argument is once again that we believe that Hannah is a not suitable for custody due to being a minor. She, like I said on multiple occasions, is not capable of taking care of this child, or actually 4 children at that. So we would just like that to be looked at a little bit. That honestly is all I have left to say. All of my witnesses has spoken, and I am happy with this.
I would like to say that yes, Hannah is, we are not pleading not guilty. We are pleading guilty, but we would like a reduced sentence on the grounds of being threatened by 2 people, and partially because of the fact, again, there's the journal that was mentioned, and there's the fact that Liz had a sword. There's that, which meant that her children were abandoned at the daycare during her time, and when it comes to Newton, there's the fact that the daycare was completely abandoned by Lynx. And we would like to plead for some sort of rehabilitation program that allows her, even if a temporary custody is removed, we would like her children to be in her care at least at some point. Yes, this was a very difficult case. I'm going to say it was very hard to defend this person here. But I would at least like to say that she shouldn't have her children taken away entirely. Not until an expert has deemed her incapable of rehabilitation. That is all.
Okay. Jury, do you want to step out with me? And we can have a chat?
They already
So-
pled guilty, so like.
They
What-
did, but we need to figure out their sentencing.
Okay.
I want to show
okay.
you guys the evidence that I have.
Uh-huh.
So, this, I'm going to show Bloom first, and then I'll show you Casino. That note is from Hannah, when Hannah was very panicked about Liz getting upset and stuff about the children missing, and that was the compass to where they found her, and then she went missing. Bloom, you okay? I think you have a few arrows in you right now. Do you want me to go get you a doctor?
I don't really feel it.
Oh, okay. Tough skin? Or is it like your homeboy back here helping you?
I don't know. I just kind of numbed everything.
Okay. I'm gonna leave you to be. I'm gonna walk over this way. You guys tell me if you think it's deemed guilty or not, and then I'll figure out the sentencing.
We're ready. We know our decision.
Can you guys tell me your decision?
Mm-hmm. So basically what we've decided is that Hannah herself is a minor. And we
Yep.
think that there should be someone else to sort of take care of the child. You know, she can still visit the child because it is hers, but it shouldn't really be under her care alone. What else did we decide? Oh yeah, she needs like rehabilitation, maybe not jail time, but rehabilitation and community service. And that's basically what we've decided.
You guys do understand that the jury does not decide of the punishment, correct?
Well, we're just telling you, but I mean,
No, I know. But I
they're-
have a few ideas I'd like to talk to you guys. to
they've
get a
already
little
pleaded
in on it.
guilty, so like, what else are we to say? So, basically, what you're saying is to have Hannah pay for like support for the child, pay for all the stuff the child needs, and for her to back off from the child for about a month or so.
Yeah.
And eventually get the child back when she's ready.
Right, exactly. But that will be deemed, it'd be have a vote. People would have to read the logs to make sure that she is getting better as the people are checking in on her. So that can't just be deemed up to her, because she can just walk out of here and say, hey, I'm so much better, and then go back to her kids and then traumatize them even more. And then do the same mistake again to another person's kids that are at the daycare.
I mean, yeah, I pretty much agree with that.
Casino?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Casino, do you
Sorry,
have
I've been writing now.
earpods in?
Oh,
No.
I think those are, like, earrings, gauges.
Earrings?
I think so.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, earrings. They're cool. They're cool.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Is that all that you guys? Okay, so we keep her on watch. What do you guys say? Until she's okay to be around her kids?
Yeah. Maybe until she's an adult.
So, are we saying like 18 or 21 being an adult?
At least 18.
I feel like that would also determine with when's her birthday, because her birthday could be like next month. Guys!
I gotta ask
What?
something.
Sit down! Quiet!
I'm gonna be guilty. Oh my god. Oh my god, you guys.
Quiet.
Shut up.
I
Quiet.
didn't have that in my
I
hand.
leave for 3 seconds and they get back. I'm so.
Everyone mute or I ban you.
Jesus Christ, we leave for a few minutes and you guys go hectic.
Yes. Oh, oh, not
You
more
guys are a
this.
bunch of children.
Oh, good to
Bloom,
know.
come here, please.
Yeah, actually, we're
True.
minors.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
true. Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Maturity wise.
Real.
Whatever. Okay.
I'm an adult.
Me and the. Congratulations, Bloom. Happy
Thank
birthday.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
Anyways.
Happy birthday.
It's not my birthday.
Happy birthday!
Woo!
Yo, congrats
on the 18th.
Happy birthday for Blue.
Yeah!
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear adult. Happy birthday
Oh, God.
to you.
Oh
I
my
need someone
God.
to. I need someone to make an
Listen
example
to
of. I
me.
need someone to make an example of.
What?
Example of?
Yo.
No!
What?
Badooga.
Excuse me? Anyways, me and the jury have talked. Of course, they've said that they plead guilty and they are found guilty. But we have decided on a charge for Hannah. Now, we are not putting her into an asylum like you asked, but we have a list of things for Hannah. So please, no one interrupt me. Please. This is a little bit of a list. I just want to get through this in one go. Thank you. Anyways, okay. So, we have decided, since Hannah is a minor and has been going through things and has been very busy, as she mentioned, we know actually, that someone else should be responsible for Hannah's children for now. Since your birthday is coming up soon, we're going to say that you can get your children back when you are 18, but since it's so soon, in a month, in a few days over a month, we're gonna say you can get your children back when you turn 19. Someone else will watch
What
it.
is this?
You can
That's bullshit!
That's some dumb stuff.
guys,
What?
please.
I was just struck.
19?
Maybe maybe like a month after
This homie finna become a
18.
boomer.
Can you make it 2
Can
months,
I
not a year?
explain
Get her
it?
children
Oh
back
my
at all.
God!
So when the
Shut
fuck
up.
does age instantly mean more mature?
I don't think
Please
she
be
should
quiet.
get any children at
Please
all.
be
I was
quiet.
just saying 18.
Let me explain. We're not saying it's set on 19. You didn't let me explain it. Jesus, is everyone gonna be quiet for me to explain why we said 19?
Definitely.
No.
Hannah,
Sorry.
be quiet. So, we said 19, but we plan, instead of having an asylum, we plan on having someone check on her every day, daily with a log. Just asking her questions of how she's feeling and mentally evaluating her a bit. And then every single day, Liz and Lynx will read what the person has written down. And they would talk over among themselves. And then 19 will go back to that book. And Liz and Lynx will talk about it, read it all over, and we will have a vote. We will all come back here, read it aloud, and we'll have a vote if Hannah has gotten better. If the vote is yes, she gets her kids back at 19. If the vote is no, she will have to wait longer, and then we'll have another vote about it.
Alright.
No, the
I've-
children are not being split.
I agree.
Does someone have a question? Like, before that? I thought I was hearing someone, but then they, like, stopped or got cut off or something. No?
What are we talking about?
And I'm not talking to you. You sit there.
Hannah, shush. This isn't about you.
Exactly. Well, it is, but like not. Hannah, no, hey, guys.
Please no bullies in the courtroom.
wood in my face, please.